What's up, everybody? Hope you're all doing well. Got an NFL fact here for you that I think you're all gonna enjoy. Well, the season came and went in the blink of an eye, and as quick as the Seahawks pass rush. But the final game of which produced some NFL history. So let us see how Christmas came early or late for the Seahawks in Santa Clara, California on Super Sunday. I guess we'll begin with a super congratulations for the winners of the biggest bowl game there is, the Seattle Seahawks, who handily, check that, dominated the New England Patriots on Sunday, silencing both the Lambs and their critics as their defense conquering on all levels of the field from the get-go and straight through the third quarter and most of the fourth as well, not stopping even for the lights. Just ask Abe Lucas about that one. Nor pulling any punches, quite literally as it were, with Job taking a jab as all pedals were pressed to the metal before they let off the gas a little, while the Patriots didn't quite say die just yet, getting their fair share of what most people would call garbage time statistics. But even still, the Seahawks swarmed the Patriots on Sunday, getting to Drake May a total of 6 times. May an anathema of the Seahawks pass rush.
It's anathema. They don't like it.
How long have you been waiting to squeeze that into a conversation?
All pass rush, really, this postseason, as he was sacked a playoff record 21 times, beating Joe Burrow's 19 during the Bengals' 2021 playoff run. I mean, they really flipped the script on this one, having May see his own ghosts.
Seeing ghosts.
It was something. Now, you may have seen, like I did, the graphic that popped up on the screen saying that they tied the Super Bowl record with 7 sacks right before they got their 8th. But as fate would have it, they would have been tied for the most sacks in a Super Bowl had it not been for a stat correction, changing Uchenna Nwosu's fumble recovery touchdown into an interception return touchdown, thus taking away one of those sacks. And as for the 8th, it could have even broken it, if not for the late game offsides penalty that took it away. Alas, though they fell short of history in that regard, it certainly doesn't take away from a historically dominant Super Bowl performance, one headed by the very first ever head coach to call the defensive plays during said Super Bowl and win the game. Nope, not even Bill Belichick, who would obviously pop to the front of the cranial, won a Super Bowl while also calling the defensive plays, as during their championship runs, he designated the duties elsewhere. Mikey D coming in as the 3rd youngest head coach to ever win a Super Bowl.
You smell like yellow Gatorade.
This 38-year-old defensive mastermind being youthed out by only Mike Tomlin and Sean McVay, both of whom were 36. And although he didn't get the respect of his peers through being awarded the Coach of the Year, he certainly got the better of the 2 trophies by beating the reigning award holder.
I think we'll take this trophy instead.
Old Michael McDonald here really farmed out a good game plan and had his defense really taking it to the streets. I mean, it kept May running like a long train running, minute by minute. And if the Patriots really thought they'd beat this defense, it would be what a fool believes. Even if it were another park, another Sunday. But in this park, on this Sunday, about 50 minutes away from China Grove, along the night-soaked Blackwater, the Patriots had to listen to the music. Hey, any Doobie Brother fans like me out there? I digress. Anyway, team slandered through antiquated yet relevant music references aside, the Seahawks really were on their game on Sunday. Now their offense, on the other hand, did have their hands full, as it was undoubtedly, as we predicted, a defensively dominant game. I mean, when you have the 4th versus the 1st best, it's gonna be a challenge. And that was evident by this Super Bowl being the 2nd Super Bowl in its 60-year history to not have a touchdown scored through 3 whole quarters. The other one, of course, being the Patriots versus the Rams in 2018. I mean, for some people, and I won't name any names, it was a real snooze fest. but I don't really blame him. It was probably past his bedtime anyway. And I'd be remiss in not mentioning Christian Gonzalez's efforts in this one, as although he did not make history nor did he win, he did put in quite the effort, because without him this game could have been a lot uglier than it turned out to be. However, Sam Darnold still was able to toss a 16-yard touchdown into A.J. Barner, getting the first touchdown of this game, which wasn't a barn burner but turned out to be quite the barn show, as Darnold just became the first quarterback, as we've discussed previously, to spend time with 5 different franchises before landing on the one that he not only got to, but won a Super Bowl with, winning it all in the very same stadium he became the 2017 Pac-12 champion in when he was with USC. And speaking of, beginning his day as the only USC Trojan quarterback to ever start in a Super Bowl, and ending it as the only one ever to win the Super Bowl. Running away from any notions of being labeled a bust, Darnold obviously riding high after his big win, as well as riding the teacups at Disneyland with Kenneth Walker III, but no higher than astronaut Neil Armstrong, although that may be debatable for some.
Can make a film that shows us going to the moon without actually doing it.
But I mention that to say that USC, Armstrong, and Darnold's alma mater just became the 25th school to have both an astronaut, alumni, as well as a Super Bowl champion quarterback who graduated from their school.
It's one small step for man,
and one giant leap for Sam Darnold, which is wild, because if the Patriots could have just pulled it out, the University of Tennessee would have had both, with Joshua Dobbs alone, being that he's the Pastronaut, and that's no joke, a certified astronaut and certified quarterback all wrapped up in one dude. But instead, it's Neil Armstrong, and a guy with a strong arm who did kneel to end this game. Well, kind of. Not really, but just go with it.
Can make a film without actually doing it.
And feel about this how you will, right, wrong, or indifferent, but your 2025 Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker III was still able to gain ground in the running game, finishing the first half with 94 rushing yards, which is the second most of any running back, only behind Timmy Smith in 1987, who went into halftime with 122 rushing yards. Walker ultimately finishing this game with 135 yards on the ground, which is the most since Terrell Davis's 157 in 1998, which was also the last time a running back was named the Super Bowl MVP, as Walker is now tied for the 8th most in a Super Bowl all time with Thurman Thomas, and by the existence of the former fact has the most rushing yards in a Super Bowl this side of the century. Those yards, even though he didn't reach the end zone himself, well, outside of that one long run that unfortunately for him got called back on a holding call late in the game, he was able to pound the rock to get the Seahawks in position for Jason Myers to boot in a Super Bowl record-setting 5 field goals in this game, which, with those added 17 total points tacked on, including his extra points he made, he finishes this season with 206 total points to his name, which now makes him the player with the most total points in a season, playoffs included, in NFL history, surpassing the legendary Hall of Famer LaDainian Tomlinson and his 198 points that he scored in 2006, which, with the context clues ingrained in the provided information, means that Jason Myers is the only player in league history to have over 200 total points scored in a single season. Plus, if I must add, and oh, I must, the Seattle defense weren't the only ones hitting hard in this game, as he was able to get his shot and took it, blasting the kickoff returner pretty good on this one. And if you believe he should have gotten the MVP over KW3, you're well within your right, and I don't blame you, because at this point it's a game of whether you should give it to the guy who, without his points, you'd lose the game, or the guy that got you into the position to score said points that won you the game, who without his effort you might not have. I can see both sides, which is why I'd vote for the guy who helped both of them, Gray Zabel. I mean, why not? Nah, with their win though, that does mean that the Patriots, by way of basic result procedure, lost. Which, coupled with the fact that they have the most appearances by any franchise, with 12 having won 6 of those, which is tied for the most wins by any team ever, also means that they have 6 losses, which is now the most losses by any team in Super Bowl history. Their percentage now dead even at 50% win-to-loss ratio, but when you make it that many times, I mean, it's bound to happen, right?
It never fails. I always even out.
You know who you are?
Even Steven.
And to be fair, the Patriots made their own history besides that, being that they had the most new blood on their squad of any Super Bowl team with 30 new players on their team, more than any previous Super Bowl contender before them. And when you have that much turnover and that many turnovers in a game, it's bound to bite you in the butt at some point. It just so happened to be this week in the biggest game of the year, unfortunately for them. 2 of which, though, made some history aside from that, as Will Campbell and Jared Wilson became the first pair of rookies to start on the offensive line for a team in a Super Bowl. And all I will say is it showed. But to their credit, they did hold up sufficiently later in the game, helping Drake May stay upright for long enough to pass for the most yards in any single quarter of a Super Bowl ever. As in the 4th quarter, he was able to deliver 235 yards in a valiant push to the finish line. I mean, he really was finding his rhythm and starting to build up his confidence until Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth just had to say something.
And Chris, all of a sudden there's a rhythm to the New England offense. You can almost see a little confidence building.
Well, he's reading the defense now. He's seeing the blitz off the right side. He knows he's hot. He's got to throw it to the other way. These are the couple of best plays that he's had so far in this game.
8:50 to go. Trying to step up and shoot one downfield. It's intercepted. Dylan Vines throw in the middle. Julian Love has it. Love 50. Love 40 and out of bounds.
Got nothing for you here.
That announcer's jinx gets you every time. As the youth, however, showing there as well, as there were some missed opportunities and his own fair share of bad play by him as well. But I mean, what did you expect? Being that he was the 2nd youngest quarterback to ever play in a Super Bowl, going up against the best points per game defense in the NFL. So mistakes are to be expected. But in the end, the Atlanta Warriors did in fact come out to play. And much like the film the Patriots are paying homage to, the guy who said that line they're referencing did in fact meet his end in bitter fashion, such as they did on Sunday. It just wasn't their day. It wasn't them.
No, it wasn't us. It was them.
As the Seahawks fly into the western setting sun in victory for the 2nd time in their franchise's history, champions among men, finishing their 2-game showing in Levi's Stadium, home of the rival 49ers, with more sacks as well as takeaways than the actual team did in their 8 games on their own turf. The Seahawks getting 9 sacks and 4 takeaways, while the 49ers came in with 7 and 3. And as for the offense, they finished the postseason as the first ever Super Bowl champion to not turn the ball over a single time in the entirety of the playoffs, which is crazy. And even crazier when you consider the fact that they finished the regular season having the 2nd most turnovers. But you know what they say, it's not how you start, it's how you finish, and boy did they finish.
Finland!
and now we wait for next season, with the fun of the off-season as an appetizer to the next full-course meal of football frenzy that awaits us after. So, this season, as crazy and unpredictable as it was, ended with the most probable outcome based on most predications and prognostication, of course. But with that, what's coming will most certainly be held in similar regard as wild and crazy moves happen every year. So with that, good luck to you and your team this offseason, and I'll see you when I see you, if not before then, everybody. You, though, don't have to wait a whole offseason to go watch nearly any event you want to go see in person by using SeatGeek, a proud sponsor of SVTV and the world's best ticketing app and website. With their state-of-the-art seating chart, you can easily score you some tickets to your desired event. Whether it be sports, music, or otherwise, you too will feel super after getting those tickets. And to help you feel like an MVP, just use code SVTV for $20 off your first ticket purchase. And don't you miss out on watching something worth seeing anymore. Alright, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you in the next one, and peace out.
You're a Super Bowl champion, brother.
Love you, man.
Love you, man.
Thanks for believing in me.
I love you.
Shout out to these badass motherfuckers who play this game the right way. Hey. Not only do we have the best defense in the world, we got the best team in the world. And quite frankly, if you got anything to say for my quarterback, you got anything to say for my defense, you got anything to say for my O-line, and you got anything to say about the city of Seattle, I got two words for you. Fuck you!